Hello there once again. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers on The Verdict. We're glad you're with us. We're here every week meeting interesting people and dealing with topical issues, and we welcome back President Mike O'Neill today.
Yes, President O'Neill at Oklahoma Christian University is joining us to talk about what's going on out there. There's always a lot going on out there. It's a very busy, active, vibrant place, and we haven't had President O'Neill on before, but we're really pleased to get him on and to find out his view about how things are going and see what's going on in his life as well.
A very prominent sector of our local economy here, Oklahoma Christian University. The subject today with President Mike O'Neill. We'll be right back.
It's time, America. Our energy future can be ours again with American natural gas. We have an abundant, affordable supply, unrivaled anywhere. $1 billion a day for importing foreign oil isn't just a statistic, it's an opportunity. 30% lower greenhouse emissions isn't a pipe dream, it's a choice. Now is the time. Chesapeake, America's champion of natural gas.
Wilsey, Meyer, Edmond, Tate. We're accountants. We do taxes, business valuations, estate planning, and consulting. And we're right here in Oklahoma, working with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Steve Wilsey and Stuart Meyer have the resources and the experience. Wilsey, Meyer, Edmond, Tate in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers. Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Today we're very thrilled to have the president of Oklahoma Christian University, Mike O'Neill, join us. He has been president at Oklahoma Christian University since 2002. He did his undergraduate work both at Oklahoma Christian and at Harding University. He got his Juris Doctorate degree at Stanford University. He is a CPA. One little fact I think is quite interesting about Mike is that when he took the CPA exam, he finished first in the state of Oklahoma and 17th in the nation on the score that he got on the CPA exam. And I've got a lot of friends that have taken that exam almost that many times, and they're still trying to get there. He is a decorated Vietnam veteran. He served in the Navy in Vietnam. He has been in the private practice of accounting with several large accounting firms. Before he came to Oklahoma Christian University, he spent 26 years at Pepperdine University in a number of different positions. The final position was he was Vice Chancellor of Pepperdine before coming to Edmond to Oklahoma Christian. This is his first visit. We sure welcome you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Great to have you.
Thank you.
Now, a native of Oklahoma, long time though in California, and then you came back. Talk about the transition from being a Californian and then deciding to come back to Oklahoma. What was going through your mind at that point?
Well, I thought I was getting away from shaky ground.
You were just running from earthquakes and didn't know which way to go.
That's right.
That turned out to be a shaky premise, didn't it?
It sure did. But it has been wonderful coming back home. And actually, what enticed us to come home was the people in Oklahoma and what was happening in this city, in this state, as opposed to what we saw around us where we were living at the time. And we weren't looking for a job when they came and found us, but when we took a look at how Oklahoma had changed and progressed in the time since we left, we just said, this is home, and we were glad to be here.
Remind me, what year was it that you returned?
2002.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what years were involved in your undergraduate work at Oklahoma Christian?
That would have been 1964 to 66.
And I suspect you found that the Oklahoma Christian University had changed a bit.
Well, it had, but again, there were some factors there that caused me to come back home because Oklahoma Christian has been somewhat entrepreneurial throughout all of its history. And it's been willing to try new things, and it wasn't kind of steeped in some of the academic inertia that exists in many institutions. And so I had known that as a student, saw some things happening then and since then, and so that said, this is a good place to be.
Nearly 10 years on the post here. What priorities did you bring to the job, and how satisfied are you with the direction that the university's headed?
Well, those are long questions, but let me just give you the short versions of those. But when I came, you've already mentioned my financial background, and the school was struggling financially. And so getting the school back on a strong financial footing was probably the main reason the trustees asked me to come. And I think we have done that. We live within our means. We're still one of the least expensive four-year quality higher education institutions in the entire country. Our endowment has more than tripled in that period of time. Significant increase in our facilities and all. So I think that one has been accomplished, and so that was certainly an important part. The interesting thing was I didn't have to do much academically. It was already strong academically. And we've added faculty since then, a lot of very good faculty, but it was more a matter of maintaining and increasing that rather than having to pull it out of the ditch. It was already in good shape.
I live in the vicinity of the campus and get to go by it often. Some of the student housing, or what I'm presuming is student housing that's gone up in the last 2 or 3 years, are just absolutely beautiful. Really nice looking buildings.
Well, it is. We have spent...
Students must love it.
Yes. We spent $34 million trying to increase the quality of the experience of our students. One of the things that has, I think, characterized my interest, my leadership at the school has been that we want to be holistic. And when we tell students, you need to be excellent at your chosen discipline, I also believe you have to show them we want to be excellent at everything that we do, because life is not divided into all these compartments. You're either striving for the best you can be at everything. So even the campus, is just one indicator of that excellence that you seek. And we still need more, but we've made a lot of progress there.
Academically, entrance requirements, we've seen some changes at different universities over the state. What has OC done in this last decade in that direction?
Well, we have strengthened our admissions requirements, but one thing that we, I guess, pride ourselves in at Oklahoma Christian is that we take a student where they are and try to move them the greatest distance. And so sometimes you find young men and women who, at 18 years of age, haven't matured very much. But, if they're given the right motivation, the right inspiration, the opportunity to do better, then they will go further. But nonetheless, we continue to strengthen that and have special programs for those that maybe aren't quite ready.
For a university in a metropolitan area, from an undergraduate perspective, are you primarily a residential college or primarily a commuter college?
Now, we're primarily residential. Over 80% of our students live there, and the only ones who don't, this is undergraduate students.
That's what I want.
And those who don't are required to either their families live in the area, or they are married, or they are over a certain age. Because, again, that kind of holistic approach to education, we feel like we're responsible for 24/7.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a difference in the lives of these kids.
What percentage of your student body is Oklahomans in high school?
Between 40 and 45%.
That's lower than I would have guessed.
Yeah, Oklahomans.
So how are you so successful in recruiting from out of state?
Well, it has to be reputation, because we don't spend money out of state recruiting students, except in one exception that's there. And our alumni are scattered all over the world. And so they help us, and when people inquire. And of course, this is a day of the internet and digital, you know, things, and so people can find you if they're looking for a high quality, spiritually based, faith-based institution. Well, we often come up in that search. So there's about 250 kids from around the globe, 60 countries.
Wow.
Represented in our student body this year. 60 countries and about 47 of the 50 states.
And what major do the majority of the students have? What area do they concentrate their studies?
The largest major is business, several sub-disciplines within business, but business, then engineering is then our second largest enrollment. I think beyond that is biology, because we have an incredible record of getting students into medical schools and dental schools and good graduate programs. In fact, the last 2 or 3 years, it's been 98 to 100%, where the general average of getting into med school is about, I think, 55% nationally.
Wow.
And so those are 3 big ones, but nursing would be close, so would the arts. You'd be surprised how many students majoring in the arts.
Mike O'Neill is the president at Oklahoma Christian. We'll have more with Mike when we get back.
The thing that has made the most sense for me is realizing that I am still an educator, and that is what I do at the Chickasaw Nation. I'm Dr. Amanda Cobb-Greetham. I'm a historian, and I'm Chickasaw. The Chickasaw Cultural Center is amazing. It is a very, very special place devoted to the sharing and to the celebration of Chickasaw history and culture. State-of-the-art technology, exhibits that are not like anything I've ever seen. The Spirit Forest is incredible, and you feel as if you have actually just walked into a forest with huge trees all around you. It's timeless, and yet it's sort of also representative of our time depth, to really just sort of reach through time and touch the past. By the end of the exhibits, you really have a sense of Chickasaw cultural and political resurgence and the extent to which we are a healthy, dynamic, and vital tribe today. Chickasaws have always been an inclusive people. This is something for the whole community and for the state of Oklahoma.
In 25 years, world energy demand will grow by 44%, with oil and natural gas largely meeting the need.
The question is, will America's demand be met by American resources?
Oklahoma says yes. We're developing the largest oil and natural gas discoveries America has seen in 40 years.
It's creating jobs and millions in tax revenue for schools, roads, and hospitals.
Oklahoma's oil and natural gas industry, advancing our state, empowering our nation.
When you have something important to communicate, it becomes clear that there's a lot of competition for your audience's attention. So how can your message stand out and actually resonate with your audience? Legal Graphics has the answers. The team at Legal Graphics will work with you to plan, design, and even test your presentation to ensure your message will be heard and remembered. Call Legal Graphics today to schedule an appointment. The readiness is all.
Welcome back to the set of the verdict. Mick Cornett with Camp Myers, and we're visiting with Mike O'Neill, the president at Oklahoma Christian. Let's talk about the graduate programs at Oklahoma Christian. Where do most people wind up?
Well, we have about 350 graduate students there. The largest of those programs is the MBA program, which from what we hear, its reputation is certainly among the best, if not the best, in central Oklahoma. It's mostly working adults that come to that, but we also have a master's in engineering, and we have 2 master's degrees in divinity and religion. So we have 4 different graduate programs there.
Let me ask you, you are a faith-based university affiliated with the Church of Christ.
Right.
What is the general status or health nationally of faith-based universities, if you can generalize about it? Is it changing? Is it getting better? Is it declining? What's your take on that?
I actually believe it's better than it has been. I serve on the national board of the Council for Christian Colleges and Universities, and there's a lot more intentionality about being holistic in our work and connecting our faith with the academic enterprise and with the student life enterprise. And that part is very healthy. There's also, I would say, most of these institutions financially are, if not thriving, they're at least doing well. And so there's always need. I mean, we are always, underfunded, but when you have people who come there as a ministry, I mean, your faculty and your staff are there because they want to do more than just teach academics. They want to influence the lives of these young people in significant ways. And so I tell our faculty that we're recruiting, I say, be prepared to work harder than you would have to work anywhere else, because we expect, more from our faculty outside the classroom as well as in the classroom. So a long answer, but yes, I believe they're healthy and doing well.
And certainly your institution fits in that category.
I certainly believe so.
Yeah. You have the Memorial Road Church of Christ right there,
yes,
adjacent to the campus.
Right.
I don't know that it's on, I don't know the boundaries, but it's close.
Right.
Is there an affiliation there that is useful to your students?
Well, it began on the campus when I was a student here.
Really?
Meeting in one of the auditoriums on that campus. And it has grown to be one of the largest churches of Christ in the country. And so there's a lot of faculty, a lot of staff. My family goes there. And so there's a lot of those connections, but no official connection of any sort.
You mentioned earlier the digital revolution that's taking place and how that's affected the recruitment and being able to expose your university to prospective students. What about the educational process itself? How has Oklahoma Christian dealt with the opportunities, if you seek to take them on, of educating students over the internet?
Well, we have done probably more than anybody in Oklahoma. The university for over 10 years has issued every new student a laptop computer. Today we issue not only a laptop computer, but either an iPhone or an iPod, depending on which the student wants. And moving to iPads, that option for students as well. And the entire campus is wireless, so you can connect to the world sitting under a tree on our campus. And our faculty have used it extraordinarily well. When we were ready to renew that program a few years ago, we brought an expert in from Wake Forest University who examines these kind of programs all over the country, and he left us a written report that said he believed that Oklahoma Christian University was using technology more effectively in the academic enterprise than any other institution he knew of in America at that time. That was about 5 years ago. And so I think we're maybe not out on the cutting edge, but we are using technology in the classroom. We now have probably 120 courses that are offered online. The MBA program is offered online. And we'll gradually add more and more full degrees online as well, because that's where the world is going. Yeah.
Talk to us about your faculty. Its makeup, in recruiting faculty members. Is it something that's difficult for you to do, or are people recruiting you? How's it working?
Well, it's always a challenge because, the compensation levels at a private small university are never what they are in the larger universities. But what you look for in faculty is people who want to come there because it's part of their life. It's a ministry to them, not in the sense of preaching, but it's a ministry to them, and they want to serve in that way and impact the lives of the students. And so we've got about 105 full-time faculty, another probably 70 or 80 adjunct faculty. And we always screen them for, are they people of faith? That's important to us, that they be people of faith. And so do we have trouble finding? Sometimes in a few special areas, it's difficult just because there aren't many people there.
Well, my quick math, which isn't near as, I wouldn't have ever tried the CPA exam. But a quick math is that you got about a 1 in 10, 1 in 12 student-faculty ratio.
No, it's about 1 in 14, I
14.
believe.
Well,
Yeah, 1 to 14.
That's as close as I get on
Yeah.
those things. One thing that our guest last week on the show was State Treasurer Ken Miller, who's one of your faculty members.
Right.
It says something to us that he wants to maintain that connection with Oklahoma Christian University, even though he's got significant duties elsewhere.
Yes.
He must be finding something there that is
Well,
fulfilling.
He is. I mean, you know, most of us in the work world, we need something else, you know, to motivate us, to inspire us, to keep us going, and he feels that. And we're glad that 2 of the statewide offices are Oklahoma Christian people. Ken is one of those, and Patrice Douglas is now the other. She's an alumnus.
Well, she was on our show just recently.
Yeah, right.
Well, you're getting ready to, well, not getting ready, but you, looking down the road a little bit, have some other plans, do you not?
Well, I do.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I made a decision when I came to Oklahoma Christian that I was not going to be the last one to know when it was time to step down. And actually, as I began to think about, I had promised the trustees I would give them 10 years. 10 years is coming upon us, and I had to do a lot of thinking about, do I want to go another 5 or 10? And I decided my grandchildren, you know, maybe getting a job that's 40 hours a week instead of 80 hours a week, you know, would be a good thing. But I love Oklahoma Christian. I expect to stay there and do some things and use some of my financial and real estate skills to help the school for a few more years. But again, hopefully it'll be a 40-hour job.
So you're staying in Oklahoma then?
Oh, absolutely. We have grandchildren here and we love it here. Yeah.
And how have you seen the campus itself? We haven't talked about expansion and capital projects since you've been president, but I know there's been quite a few.
There have been. I mentioned the $34 million in student housing that we've done, and still have a little bit of housing to upgrade a little bit further. But the Lawson Commons with the Freedy Centennial Tower and all is there. We've redone all of our science labs to where they're now state-of-the-art science laboratories. Upgraded significantly a lot of athletic facilities. Most recently, the Bobby Mercer baseball indoor training facility. And again, there's always more we want to do. Enterprise Square is needing to be redeveloped, and we're working on a plan for that right now. So there's just never an end. When I came to the school, I looked at those brick buildings and I said, wow, I will not have to be a brick and mortar president. I can raise money for endowment and for operations and programs. And it turns out that, you know, even on the inside, they have to be redone. Right. So we've done quite a bit since we've been there.
About 45 seconds left. What do you want the viewers to know about Oklahoma Christian?
Well, I just want you, I'd love to ask our viewers to pray for us. We're in the business of changing lives for better and helping change our world to make it a better place, and contributing to the general economy and the betterment of Oklahoma. And so, you know, we've got 2,200 children, you know, in one sense. They're a family with that many, and so your prayers are important. Send those young people to us as well. And anything you can do to support us, we're glad for that as well.
All right. Mike O'Neill, President of Oklahoma Christian. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Keep doing a good job.
Thank you.
Ken and I'll have a final word when we get back.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth.
Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information. And for almost 30 years, Oklahoma political, government, and business leaders have turned to the McCarville Report for accurate, reliable, inside information. Visit the McCarville Report online.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. We are wrapping up a show with the president at Oklahoma Christian, Mike O'Neill.
Yeah, fine gentleman. First time to be on the show. He's done a wonderful job at Oklahoma Christian. Things are really hopping out there. They're always busy and lots of activity, and students seem to be happy and thriving.
Raised the standards for admission, increased enrollment, increased the endowment, has built capital projects in a 10-year span. I think you have to look back at this 10-year tenure of Mike O'Neill and say, wow, what a successful time in that university's history.
That's a great catch by that search committee, one member of which was Ken Miller.
That's right.
To get Mike O'Neill back.
Yeah. Let's take a look at some website information that might help you get more information on Oklahoma Christian. You can reach them at oc.edu. That's oc.edu. We'd also love for you to go to our website and give us an idea about a topic you'd like to see discussed on an upcoming edition of The Verdict. Our website is theverdict.tv. That's theverdict.tv. That's going to do it for this week's show. For Kent Myers, I'm Mick Cornett. We will see you next week right here on another episode of The Verdict.
The preceding program was produced exclusively for the Cox Channel.